better than I used to be.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be about my testimony. So basically I'm just going to talk about how I became a Christian, how I decided to follow God. It's actually kind of a funny story, but I just hope that in sharing it encourages anybody else who may be thinking about starting a walk with God or are in their walk with God and just need some more encouragement, that God can reach anybody anywhere. So if you'd like to hear my story about how I became a Christian, stay tuned for more. So I guess I should start with a little backstory. I guess I would say like kind of raised Christian. I did go to church with my mom for a while when she was here with us. So my mom would take my brother and I to church, and we were even going to church when we moved to Seattle, Washington with my grandma for a while. And then some stuff happened, which I will probably talk about in a video later, but we ended up having to move from Seattle, Washington back here to Maryland with my dad's family, with my dad and his side of the family. And so moving with my dad wasn't really a church going guy, so church kind of stopped for us, but he did always teach us to pray and everything. And so that's like my first real, I guess, memories of God. It was just prayer, and yeah, like I remember feeling really afraid in church though. Like I think all the rituals and kind of stuff, that it will seem ritualistic, but everything that everyone was doing when I was younger kind of freaked me out. But I do remember like being comforted in prayer and stuff like that, so that was helpful. But sadly it kind of turned into like me treating God like a genie. So I would just kind of pray to God for like whatever I wanted. So I would pray God, you know, give me a boyfriend, or God, like, can I have these shoes, or like weird stuff like that. And I think about it now and I like cringe, but so I started treating God like a genie, and it was ridiculous. So that was pretty much my whole like middle school, high school time. I really didn't understand like relationship with the Lord, so I just kept doing the same old thing, kept praying for whatever I wanted. And so I fast forward to college, and I remember kind of just feeling really lonely. I went to school at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, which was like 2 hours away from where I live, or where my family was. And it was hard for me because I had never really been that far away from my home unit. So I just remember, I think I said this in a video before, but I just remember not like, just feeling strange that I couldn't just walk down the hallway and talk to my brother, or walk into my dad's room and get a hug, because I always did that. It was just kind of weird that I always had to talk to him on the phone, or I had to wait like a week or like a month to see my family. So it was really hard for me, and I didn't really know too many people on campus. I didn't really get along with my roommate, sadly. I remember praying to God that he would just give me one friend, because I really didn't know anybody and I felt alone. And I was just like, God, like I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I need someone that I can talk to. And so God answered that prayer, and he blessed me with this friend, and I love her so much to this day. I talked about her in my natural hair story. But he gave me her, and so we would eat together all the time, talk all the time. She's basically my sister, and my dad treated her like that too. Everyone ended up treating her like my sister. But so we got really close as the semester progressed, and I remember she took me to church with her. One time, she was on a boxing team and they went to church, so one of those times she took me with her, and I remember feeling like really good about it, because I had like history going to church with my mom and my grandma, so like I knew, and I guess I knew the routines, and I knew like, okay, like I feel comfortable here, I sorta, and I think I was getting something that I wasn't getting just being at school by myself, because like I said, I felt really alone, and just kind of down a lot of the time, and so yeah, so when I went to church that first time, like I just kind of felt like rejuvenated, like, you know, like maybe I am okay, maybe I can accomplish the things that I want to do, like, you know, I don't have to be this kind of down person, I don't have to feel lonely. But the feeling came back, and I still wasn't consistently going to church. Like I still didn't have a relationship with God, still trying and treating God like a genie, and I just kind of like hit a rock bottom place in that like loneliness, and I remember just feeling really depressed a lot of the time, and just feeling like gosh, like I don't really feel, I just didn't feel like myself. Like I was just kind of like, oh, like everything's super just dreary all the time, and I'm alone, and I'm just always gonna be alone, and my family's far away, and I just can't deal with this. And I always found myself like reminiscing back to the past, like, man, maybe I shouldn't have came out here, maybe out here, like 2 hours is really far, but I was thinking that a lot, and just kind of like me, I miss my friends at home, even though God blessed me with this amazing one friend, and like I just really wanted to go home. And I even thought about like dropping out and just going back to the community college where my friends were, because like it was just comfort zone for me. Like everybody I knew was in my hometown, and I just wanted to go back to them. So I remember it was around Easter, and I remember talking to my friend, and I was like, hey, you know, I think we should go back to church for Easter. Would you be interested in that? And she said, yeah, sure. So we kind of made it a set plan that we were going to go to church for Easter. And so I guess the day rolls around, and we decide we're gonna go to breakfast first. So we head over to the CAF at UMES, and the CAF was actually closed. So we were like, that's strange, because, you know, it was open the last time we went to church, but maybe it's just Easter, which totally makes sense. But so we just go outside, and there's a van sitting there, and we're like, oh, this is the van, good thing we didn't go to breakfast, we would have missed the van and wouldn't have been able to go to church. So we just walk up and get in this van, and this is where the story gets a little funny. So the van starts moving. Now, to go to the church that we were trying to go to, it was literally right up the street from the school. So you're supposed to make a left, then go straight for a little bit, make a right, and it's literally right there on the right. And so we were like, all right, cool, that's where we're going. So the van starts moving, and we make a right. And I'm like, all right, maybe they're just going to pick up some other people. Maybe that's where they're going and we're fine. But they make a left, and if you like know UMES campus, like they're heading towards the highway. And so they get on the highway, and we're going in the opposite direction from the church. It's like no, we're not even near the church. And the church was right up the street from the school. We shouldn't even be going on the highway, you know? So I'm sitting in the back of this bus like, God, where are we going? Like, I have no idea what's happening. And I remember like having my headphones in, and I was back there freaking out. I didn't even say anything to my friend. I was just like, I have no idea where we were going. And I probably should ask her what she was thinking, if she even remembers it. But like, it was like, I remember being really freaked out. Like, I don't know where we're going. Oh my gosh, like, what am I gonna do? I hope we're not going to some weird church. Like I may just pray to God, but I don't know any of these other gods. Like, I was really, really scared. And I was just like, you know what, fine, like, whatever, I'm here now, so I might as well just go. And I was so scared. So we're driving, And we were still on the highway, just going, and like it's just farmlands out on the eastern shore, so you really don't know where you're going until you get there usually. Like it looks like you're lost for a while and then you show up. But so we're just going, and then we end up at the church that we're going to, and it really doesn't look like this church would be where it is. It's like you see like I said, it's farms and just open spaces, a few houses here and there, and then boom, a church like in the middle of all of that. And so we arrive at the church, and I'm like, okay, like it looks alright. The parking lot's full. It doesn't look like some kind of like, you know, strange place. So we get out and we go into the church, and I remember everyone being super nice and friendly and really welcoming to me. And not saying that I didn't experience that at UMBS, but like it was different than what I was used to receiving from people. And so it just felt like a breath of fresh air, honestly. So walked in there, everybody was really nice, felt welcomed and like just awesome. And so me and my friend sit down, we find a seat, and honestly, like I wish I remembered what we talked about that day. We probably, of course, talked about Jesus and like his resurrection and everything because it was Easter, but I don't exactly remember the message. But I remember like how I felt, and I remember feeling just kind of like, as the pastor spoke, I just really felt like welcomed home. It was kind of like this feeling came over me that like I just didn't have to be alone anymore. I didn't have to feel alone anymore, and that like everything honestly that I needed at that time, and still need, but everything that I needed at that time was in Jesus, was in God. And you know, like I could come to him, I could go to him with those things. And so they did an altar call, and I remember like like I shot up out of my seat and I was like wiping tears away. I'm so dramatic, it's ridiculous, but I was just wiping tears away. Like I walked straight to the front and I gave my life to God that day. And I remember just feeling like super pumped. Like I was like, gosh, like I'm saved now. And I honestly really didn't know what that fully meant yet, but I was just excited that like my loneliness had left. Like I really felt full that day. And after that, like the people who we came in on the van with actually ran like Bible studies on campus, so I met all of them and got plugged in on campus and got involved in, well, not involved yet, but like planted in the Bible study actually at that church for young adults. And so it was really cool because it was like I accepted God into my life, and God immediately gave me like a family on campus. And I didn't even really think about that until now, but he really just planted me somewhere where like I had people, and I wasn't alone physically, and I wasn't alone spiritually anymore, because God was with me, and then God gave me these people. And so I'm just really, really thankful for that, because I know a lot of my growth spiritually came because I had a network of people who I knew was on the same path I was going towards, you know, even when like I didn't all the way understand things, so I was still doing stupid stuff, and I still was believing a lot of, honestly, just lies about myself and everything. Like I had people speaking truth over me. I had people leading me to truth and showing me, you know, what was right and what was truly God. And I can say that like I really experienced that with the group of believers I met at UMBS and became like friends with. So that's really how I came to God. I would honestly say it's been one of the craziest journeys of my life, and I'm so happy that I did it, because I need God at every moment of my life, and I've been through so many different seasons since then, and life has gotten crazier, and now I'm married. But yeah, so it's just been one of the most craziest things of my life, but it's been amazing, and I've grown so much, and I'm just so thankful that God is always with me and always in my life, because without him, I honestly would be nothing. And I've seen where my life has led without him. Like, even in seasons where I was a Christian, or I had claimed to be Christian, but I had really left God behind, I've seen how God's been there for me, how God has nurtured me through those seasons and continues to grow me. A lot of those seasons have been really, really hard. Like, losing my dad was a really hard time for me, but God just continues to grow me and nurture me and just never leaves me, even when I act like a complete fool. Like, he never leaves me. And honestly, he'll never leave you. Like, he will never leave anybody who may be down and out, destitute, or somebody who seems like they are at the top of, you know, whatever game is, but could be lonely as ever. Like, God is always here for us. God is always calling out to us and always wants a relationship with us. And like, I felt that in my darkest times, God just reaching out to me and saying, I'm right here for you. You need me. Like, don't leave me behind, because I'm here and I have what you need. And some of those times, like, I think back on them now and I'm like, girl, like, why didn't you just reach out? You know, why were you so stubborn? But I'm just thankful that God doesn't like see me as that, but he sees me as his daughter, and he sees me when I'm in trouble, and he looks on me and says, I want to help you. I want to reach out and grab your hand, and I want to pull you out of this so that you can thrive, so that you can be the woman that I made you to be. And I believe he's saying that to everyone. Like, I believe that God wants us all to really become who he's made us to be, you know. And there are some people who are just stuck in so many different terrible situations. People are just stuck in bad relationships that they shouldn't be in. People are stuck in addictions or just flat out like not believing in God, atheism, whatever. But like, God is real, and he's really here for us, and he's in the places where you really think he wouldn't be, if that makes any sense. But like, he's there for you even when you feel like you're the most alone, most destitute. God is the only one who's there, right there. He may be there in a person, in a saying, in a scripture, whatever. He's the only one who's there. That is my testimony. And I just pray for anyone, and I will be praying for anyone who wants a relationship with God or is thinking of starting one. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below or email me, contact me on social media. I'm always open to talk, and I will be making more videos about God and my relationship and the things that I've learned along this crazy journey with him. But I just pray that this encourages anybody who watches this, and that you just leave feeling like you can have a relationship with God, because you may feel like you're broken, you may feel like you have to clean up, or you're just not good enough. But like, God says you're mine. And no one is not good enough for God. So honestly, I just pray that you hear those words and that you say, you know what, today is the day. Today's the day I'm going to start my relationship with God. Today's the day I'm going to walk forward, and I'm going to accept that Jesus died for my sins, and that I'm forgiven now, and that I am clean and made righteous in his sight. Thank you so much for watching my videos, guys. And if you really like this video and want to hear more about my walk with God, stay tuned for more, because I do plan to make more videos sort of like this one, about the things that I've learned. So I hope you guys have an awesome day. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Got your love next to me, better than I used to be.